What's going on, everybody? And Pat, how you doing, bud?
All right.
So, welcome back to the vlog. We're on a new project now, and we're doing some snow removal. No, I'm just kidding. We're not doing snow removal, but we are removing the snow from this concrete slab because we're building a deck on top of it, and we're building a pergola here, so we got to get rid of all this snow, get this thing set up so that we can start building. I'm going to walk you through the whole process. Ground level deck, pergola, we also got a patio going, and how we're going to do this in the middle of the winter. So make sure you hit subscribe. Stay tuned. Wondering how we're going to clear this slick surface, all you need is a flamethrower. We're going to get this melted up in no time. So we got all the ice melted. We got these holes cut out because tomorrow morning we have Goliath Tech coming out to blast in these helical piles. Working in the snow, no problem. We're gonna get these piles in. We only have 3 of them, and then we can just jump right onto framing, start doing this pergola, start cutting all these joists, see how these are all tapered like this. We'll get into how we're doing that in a little bit, but today's a pretty easy day. We're gonna wrap it up. We'll be back tomorrow, start blasting this thing. So it snowed again last night, and unfortunately we're gonna have to put this whole project on a hold because we can't pour our concrete footings.
Oh, wait.
No, we're using helical piles here, so not gonna be a problem. What we have going on here is a deck that we're building over top of this slab. The slab's in really good shape, so we're gonna build our frame directly on top of this via a sleeper system. We have a pretty significant pitch here, so we have to cut all of our joist material at that pitch so that the top is level. So we're starting that, but what we're going to do right now is mark out all of our footing locations. There's only 3, and the 3 footings are actually to hold up the pergola. We want our last joist to be right on the edge of this concrete, so we're coming inside of that because our 6x post for the pergola is going to be inside our last joist. So we measure back 1.5 inches for that joist, and then the center of that 6x is another 2 3/4. So we're 4 1/4 off the edge of the slab. That's going to be the center of our footing, and that's what we need to mark out. So we have our square here, big collapsible square. This is on our Amazon store. Click the link in the description. Get yourself one of these. We use it all the time. And it's going to go down here. So all I'm doing, I'm pulling this tight. He's got the square against the foundation, and I'm just going to pull it, and we're going to move it till it's just hitting that.
I have it to where I'm like an 1/8 inch off. Right there.
Right there. Now that we have this line coming square off the house, we just need to measure for the center of our footing. So I'm going to do that now. Our deck is going to be 16 feet.
Gotcha.
We have a rim joist, and we have half of that 6x. So what are we going to do? We're going to come back that same 4 1/4 mark. So we got 16 here. We'll come back 1, 2, 3, 4 1/4.
And there's our center mark.
All right, we're ready to install our footings. We got Kyle here from Goliath Tech. We're gonna get these in. Ground's frozen. Doesn't even matter. We're gonna blast right through it. We're gonna be building this pergola in no time. Best thing about these things, no downtime. We're gonna be framing today, no inspection needed. Goliath Tech, baby. We got the adjustable bracket here So we can just spin this up to whatever height. The height doesn't matter too much on this because we're just putting our 6x6 on here, and that's gonna be below the surface of the deck, but we're just gonna wanna set them all to the same height so that we can cut all the 6x's to the same length, make it a lot easier. But I love this swivel bracket. Makes it super easy to adjust the height up and down, and each one of these piles is gonna hold up to 15,000 pounds. So we're in good shape here. Pat, what do you think? Did you think that we were going to be stuck because we were going to be doing concrete and then we wouldn't be able to work?
Nope, we've been using helical piles for a while, and I knew that they were being able to be used in the cold weather.
Oh, okay. All right, sweet. It's always good to have the torch on hand when you are working in these kind of conditions, because there was a bunch of ice stuck on this, but blasted that right off into oblivion. Now check this out. We've got 2 bolts that go through the side of this saddle into the helical pile. That's going to protect it from uplift. And then we have another one on the side here. That one gets tightened against the helical pile to keep it stable laterally. So then we can just spin them like this. We can go up, we can go down, get them to the right height that we need. Again, doesn't have to be at a specific height, but we want to set them all the same so that we can cut the 6x's at the same height, just make it a little bit easier. But about an hour, now we're ready to frame. We don't have to dig out. We don't have to wait for concrete. We don't have to wait for an inspection. We're ready to rock and roll. We might get this project done before the baby pops out.
Oh, what's up, Pat, and world, and viewers, and people?
So, you missed it, but earlier I did the people's elbow on a 6x6, and I think I broke my arm.
All right, so we got our 2 outside posts in, and we got 1 ply of this beam on. And what did we do to figure out the length, the measurement of the rafter?
I don't know. So we had those 2x4s up as rafters, temporarily holding the 6x's plumb, even with the posts. And then I took measurements, split the difference, cut them the same, and then we're gonna swap them out, send it home tight, and then adjust the bottom.
Sounds extremely confusing. So we just put this 2x4 up on both sides, screwed it in so that we can get these things plumb, take a measurement, and we just took this one off because we're ready to put our rafter up. He's scraping some ice off. How do you Canadians do this stuff? A little question for everybody as well. Where's everybody from? I'd love to know. Leave a comment below. Let me know where you're watching this from. We're in New Jersey, and it's snowing.
Jersey sucks.
Don't make me cut you. Alright, the guys are on the ladder. What are you doing? Get out of my face. Let me break that thing. Give me that.
Oh, Jesus.
Send a screw home. I need you to send a screw home.
Okay.
Are you tight?
Yeah, I'm tight.
Are you tight? Doesn't look like you're too tight.
Remember, he's gonna be hitting the heads of the screws. Give it a good hunt. Ooh,
Yeah, that's it.
good hunt.
That was it.
You good?
I got one in.
That's all I need.
Yeah, I'm like your guardian angel, bud.
That was pretty cool.
So you can see we leave this beam short so that our last rafter can go all the way. Bears on that about 3 inches. What do we call that?
Locked in for justice.
Lock it in for justice.
Locked in for justice. Now that we have our ledger board for the pergola up, I'm pre-installing these hangers because these are concealed hangers. All the screws go behind where the rafter sits. So we've got a 2x10, and then we've got a 2x4 purlin going on top, and we want that flush with the top of this ledger board. So what I did, I just cut this down to 10 3/4. I'm gonna slide this in here,
Alright, you gotta go like that.
put it right here,
Yep.
flush with the top, make a little mark. That's where the bottom of my hanger needs to go. If I put it down flush with the bottom, we're gonna be a little bit too low and it's gonna mess with our roof. So Easy way to do this. Have these up in no time. What happened? I heard the commotion.
Battery died.
Oh God, no! Did you give it CPR? You're not supposed to actually do the breathing anymore. It's just chest compressions.
Just compressions, Ant.
Look.
You do it to the, oh God. Do it to the beat of Staying Alive. At first I was afraid.
That's not staying alive.
What are you doing there?
Hanging up some hangers.
Oh yeah. We got this pergola going up. We are using some Pro Wood. So we've got the Dora color up top. We might end up giving it a coat of stain anyway, but it is a little bit more brown in color. You can see here we've got the regular Pro Wood MCA treated, MCA. What's MCA stand for, Pat?
YMCA?
Nope.
Young
Oh, almost.
Christian Association.
No. Micronized copper azole.
You just made that up.
No, I didn't. That's what it is. Here's how we're doing this. He's got this outside rim board attached to the 6x, but we're actually going to take these screws out because this is going to be bearing on the slab, whereas this pergola is sitting on the footings and it's attached to the house. So we want this independent of this deck, but just to make it easier to install, we're attaching it so we can get it nice and straight. We'll build everything, we'll shim everything up, and then we'll take those screws out so that micro movements can happen independent of each other. We have 4 more to go, and getting them pre-installed super easy. We've got them all figured out, same exact length, so that means we frame this thing up really nicely. And it's also working on the floor joist. We'll get to that in 1 second, but this is super easy. All I'm going to do, I'm going to crown this, make sure the crown is facing up. That's that slight hump that you'll see in a piece of lumber. So I'm going to get this to Scooter. There you go, buddy. All right, Scooter's going up. Good. Go. There it is. Can it go more?
Go.
Oh, God.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. I don't feel like I'm doing anything. It's so slippery.
There you go. We're getting it. Oh, there he goes. Woo! If anything, you want it a little bit tight, so we know it's locked in for justice. We don't even have to put screws in this. Now we do. We still do.
So to make this go pretty simple, you pretty much got to scribe to the concrete patio. So what I did is I set my rim level, so I know that's good. Put a level on this joist, leveled it across. You measure from here to here, which is about 3 inches. Cut a block of wood. That'll give me my scribe cut. I'll unscrew that, I'll cut it, we'll put it in, we'll check it, on to the next one. Ultimate test.
All right, so we've got this whole thing framed out. Now we're just going around and we're shimming everything up, so all of these joists are gonna be slightly elevated. We're also getting a roof over top of this, so it's not like a whole lot of water is gonna be sitting here, but we still wanna have these slightly elevated, and it's a good way to make sure everything is nice and flat. So we just have this string line going across, and you can see this one needs to come up a little bit, so. There you go. We also have this thing screwed down to the slab. You can see every once in a while, Pat, can you see this? We've got this board right here screwed down with some tap cons, and then we've screwed these joists into the side. So the whole thing is gonna be locked down for justice to this concrete slab, but it's gonna be independent of the pergola. What are you talking, what's going on?
Pat would put himself in a funny position, so he was very, very, very hurt.
I slipped and then I hurt my butt.
You hurt your butt.
But he kept the camera going.
Good job. So that's pretty much it. We're ready to start installing some of this decorator's decking. See, we've got the pergola framed up with the ProWood Dora color. It's a little bit more brown. We've got the deck framed up with the regular MCA treated ground contact. And with this thing completely bearing on the slab, it's really, really nice and firm. If this thing was a couple feet off the ground, normally before we put the decking on it, you're gonna feel a tiny bit of bounce in the framing. This thing is locked in for justice. It is sitting super, super solid. So that's it for this vlog. Check back on the next one. We install all this decking, we finish up this pergola, we get to a trellis. We might even do the patio with all this snow. Yeah, I'm gonna show you how we do that. So make sure you hit subscribe, and until next time, this is Premier Outdoor Living.